What if the lesson that could change your life is the very one you'll probably learn too late? Not because no one tried to tell you, but because some truths can only be understood after you've experienced enough disappointment, enough betrayal, and enough regret. Every Sigma eventually reaches that moment. It doesn't happen all at once, it happens quietly. You start noticing that the people you trusted don't always stay. You realize that working harder doesn't guarantee appreciation. You discover that being kind doesn't always earn respect. Little by little, the way you see people and the way you see yourself begins to change. At first, you ignore the signs. You give people second chances. You tell yourself things will be different next time. But eventually, life forces you to accept a reality you were never prepared for. The painful part isn't learning these lessons. The painful part is realizing how much time, energy, and peace you lost before you finally understood them. The good news is that every difficult experience leaves behind something valuable: wisdom. Once you understand these lessons, you stop chasing approval from people who never valued you. You stop wasting energy trying to change those who don't want to change. And you begin focusing on the only person you can truly control: yourself. In today's video, we're going to explore the life lessons that almost every Sigma learns far later than they should. Some of these truths may explain situations you've been confused about for years. Others may completely change the way you approach relationships, success, and personal growth. So don't skip this video, because the final lesson is the one that changes everything. It's the lesson most people wish they had learned years earlier, and once you understand it, you'll never look at life the same way again. Before we begin, if you enjoy videos about Sigma psychology, human behavior, and self-improvement, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Now, let's uncover the lessons every Sigma learns too late, and why learning them today could save you years of unnecessary pain. Not everyone deserves access to your life. One of the biggest lessons every Sigma learns too late is that not everyone deserves access to your life. When you're younger, it's easy to believe that being open, honest, and available to everyone is the right way to build relationships. You share your goals, your struggles, and your dreams because you assume that the people around you genuinely care about your success. Unfortunately, experience often teaches a different lesson. The more people know about your life, the more opportunities they have to misunderstand you, judge you, or even use your weaknesses against you. Not everyone who asks personal questions has good intentions. Some people are simply curious, while others compare themselves to you or quietly wait for you to fail. A Sigma eventually realizes that privacy isn't about being secretive, it's about protecting your peace. You don't need to explain every decision, announce every goal, or seek approval before taking action. In fact, some of the greatest achievements happen in silence, long before anyone else notices them. This lesson doesn't mean shutting everyone out. It means becoming selective. The people who truly earn your trust will respect your privacy instead of demanding access to every part of your life. They won't make you feel guilty for keeping certain things to yourself. The moment you understand that access to your life is a privilege, not a right, you begin protecting your energy, your focus, and your future far more wisely. Being busy is better than being popular. Another lesson many Sigma personalities learn too late is being respected for your work is far more valuable than being popular for your presence. Early in life, it's tempting to believe that having a large social circle or being liked by everyone is a sign of success. But as time passes, you begin noticing something important. Popularity is temporary, while purpose creates lasting results. A Sigma eventually understands that every hour spent chasing approval is an hour not invested in personal growth. While others are trying to impress people, you could be learning a new skill, improving your health, building your future, or developing a stronger mindset. Of course, there's nothing wrong with having friends or enjoying social connections. The problem begins when your happiness depends on other people's attention. Approval can disappear overnight, but the discipline you build stays with you for life. Successful people often spend long periods working quietly while nobody notices their effort. From the outside, it may look like they're missing out. In reality, they're investing in a future that most people can't yet see. A Sigma learns that it's better to be busy creating a meaningful life than constantly trying to prove your worth to others. When your purpose becomes stronger than your desire for attention, everything begins to change. Ironically, that's often when genuine respect starts to appear naturally. Silence is more powerful than winning. Every argument, one lesson almost every Sigma learns too late is that not every argument deserves a response. When you're younger, you often feel the need to defend yourself, correct every misunderstanding, and prove that you're right. You believe that if you explain your point clearly enough, people will eventually understand. But experience teaches a very different reality. The truth is that some people don't argue because they're searching for the truth. They argue because they want attention, control, or the satisfaction of being right. No matter how logical your explanation is, they have already decided what they want to believe. Continuing the conversation only drains your energy while changing nothing. A Sigma eventually realizes that silence is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of emotional control. Walking away from pointless conflict requires far more strength than staying to win an argument that has no value. The strongest people don't waste their time proving themselves to everyone they meet. They let their actions speak louder than endless explanations. This lesson changes the way you handle conflict. Instead of reacting immediately, you begin asking yourself a simple question. Will this conversation improve my life in any meaningful way? If the answer is no, you protect your peace and move on. The moment you stop trying to win every argument is the moment you begin winning something far more valuable: your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. Your time is your most valuable asset. Perhaps one of the most painful lessons every Sigma learns too late is that time is the one thing you can never get back. Money can be earned again. Opportunities may return. Even broken relationships can sometimes be repaired. But every hour you waste is gone forever. When you're young, it's easy to believe you have unlimited time. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, chase your goals later, or fix your habits when life becomes easier. Before you realize it, months turn into years, and you begin wondering where all that time disappeared. A Sigma eventually understands that every decision is an investment. Every hour spent learning, building, exercising, reading, or improving yourself creates a better future. On the other hand, every hour wasted on unnecessary drama, meaningless distractions, or people who don't value your presence quietly steals the life you could have built. This realization changes your priorities completely. You become more selective about who deserves your attention and what deserves your effort. You stop saying yes to everything and begin protecting your schedule with the same care that others protect their money. The people who truly succeed aren't always the most talented. They're often the ones who understand the value of time before it's too late. Once a Sigma learns this lesson, every day becomes an opportunity instead of something to waste. And the next lesson may be even more difficult because it involves letting go of a responsibility that was never yours to carry. You can't save everyone. One of the hardest lessons every Sigma learns too late is that you cannot save everyone. In the beginning, you genuinely want to help. You give advice, offer support, and spend hours trying to encourage people you care about. You believe that if you care enough, work hard enough, or stay patient enough, they'll eventually change. But life teaches a painful truth. People only change when they decide to change. No amount of advice can transform someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. You can open the door, but you can't force someone to walk through it. Many Sigma personalities waste years trying to fix other people's problems while ignoring their own goals. They carry emotional burdens that were never theirs to carry. Eventually, they realize that constantly rescuing others leaves them exhausted and distracted from the life they're trying to build. Helping people is a beautiful thing, but there's an important difference between offering support and becoming responsible for someone else's choices. A Sigma eventually learns to help without sacrificing their own peace, time, or future. The moment you stop trying to save everyone, you gain the freedom to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Ironically, that's when your example becomes far more powerful than your words ever were. The right people will never force you to betray yourself. Another lesson every Sigma eventually learns is that the right people will never ask you to become someone you're not. Healthy relationships are built on respect, not pressure. Yet many people spend years changing themselves just to keep others happy. They hide their opinions, ignore their values, and sacrifice their peace because they're afraid of losing people. At first, this feels like loyalty. But over time, it becomes exhausting. You wake up one day and realize you've spent more energy trying to fit into someone else's expectations than building the life you actually want. A Sigma eventually understands that any relationship requiring you to betray your principles isn't a healthy relationship. The people who genuinely care about you won't ask you to abandon your goals, your self respect, or your peace of mind just to make them comfortable. Real friends celebrate your growth. Real partners respect your boundaries. Real relationships allow you to be yourself without fear of rejection. This lesson changes everything. Instead of asking, "How can I make everyone like me?" you begin asking, "Who accepts me without asking me to become someone else?" That single shift transforms the quality of every relationship in your life. The biggest lesson: your future depends on the choices you make today. The greatest lesson every Sigma learns, often much later than they wish, is that the future isn't built by hope. It's built by daily choices. Every decision you make today shapes the person you'll become tomorrow. The books you read, the habits you build, the people you spend time with, and the actions you repeat each day quietly determine your future. Success rarely arrives through one dramatic moment. It grows from hundreds of small decisions that most people never notice. A Sigma eventually stops waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect motivation, or the perfect time to begin. They realize that waiting only delays the life they want to create. Progress starts the moment you decide to act, even if the first step feels small. This truth is both painful and empowering. It's painful because you realize how much time can be lost by waiting. But it's empowering because it reminds you that your future is still being written. Every new day gives you another chance to choose discipline over excuses, growth over comfort, and purpose over distraction. If there's one lesson worth learning early, it's this: the life you dream about won't be built by chance. It will be built by the choices you make when nobody is watching. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments which lesson resonated with you the most. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Sigma psychology, human behavior, and self-improvement content. Thanks for watching, and remember, every great future begins with one wise decision today.